Hey, welcome. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good. How about you? Your audio is really cool now.
Oh, you could hear the audio great. Like, is it pretty good? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not much different from your mobile phone audio. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I don't know, like it's like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's like I'm not saying it's like more crystal clear or something. It's basically the quality is same, but like sometimes when you uh, maybe the pitch it's like super perfect.
Oh, that's interesting. It must be because maybe it's like the equipment, but that's very good to know. Then I'll definitely, for if there's any other future opportunity for me, I'll definitely continue on with the laptop then because I think that sounds great then because I wasn't really aware myself personally of
Oh
how
yeah.
the audio was different. But thanks for waiting for me. I had no idea I would have that setup issue at at the beginning, but now I'm good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, when you used to join from mobile, it was also good. This is good, but this is like maybe it's just my ears and how it's like the sound is coming, but it's like I don't know, like it's something like when you hearing someone on call and something you're watching on TV. So this one sounds like 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 really, it's coming really deep and like the pitch is really good, like which is maybe because of my headset, but this feels really good and different. But yeah, I mean, from mobile phone it's also fine. Like I don't want you to feel obliged to join only through laptop, and I know there could be problems, but yeah, I mean, this is just really cool.
Well, I mean, I'm glad to hear about that. I mean, for this opportunity, I would try whatever I need at that time, but I'm definitely going to aim for the laptop because I wasn't really aware of how different it sounded, but I do like the fact that you're saying that it sounds more like that the audio quality is more crisp. That's good because that's what I was looking for. So that's good for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's just really good. Now I'm observing it more. Like last week, I felt that, and now it's also like I'm seeing it again. Like so, that's really something interesting. Maybe it's because of the laptop or the equipment, but that's really an interesting fact. Yeah. So, how's been your week? How's it going?
Well, thank you for asking. My week was actually pretty good. I wasn't very busy, but throughout the week I was thinking about Valentine's Day, even though I don't know if like if I'm gonna be doing anything that's like a fun event. But I've been thinking about that. I'm also very interested in starting making some like Valentine's Day content that's choices themed
Yeah.
online. So that would be something really cool to do today too.
Wow.
Other
Yeah.
than that, this week was great because I also got to read a lot too. So that was a highlight for me. I absolutely love visual novel stories. But what about you?
Oh, yeah. This week, thanks. It has been really good. So my college opened up basically, but it was not like the open up because it was closed for 2.5 years or something or like that. So the practical machines, they're literally not in a working shape. So they closed all the classes and suspended them for the past week. I went only 2 days, and that's also not many classes, but yeah, I'm just getting used to this again, the new norm that's not online and stuff. So yeah, next week I'll be getting used to it more. But I did not have that much time, but I still, like you, enjoyed reading the books. I think there were lots of books this week. First of all, of course, on Thursdays, I love Wake the Dead. That's like must read for me. And then I think we had a lot of content on Friday or Saturday. First, it was Surrender, 2 chapters, and then Mismatch. So I enjoyed that. And also, I read some old books, like I'm reading again Blades and High School Story Book 3, Class Act. It was pretty fun. I'm looking forward to next week now. And by the way, you mentioned Valentine's Day. I would love to see you make something with maybe Kepler and Charlie. That would be amazing to see.
Well, I'm actually going to be writing that down because that's something I would love to do. And I was thinking about that too. Like yesterday, I was going through my phone to make some templates and see like what kind of ideas I could,
Yeah,
go with. But today I'm going to be doing that because I haven't really. So although I usually love to do realistic edits of the choices characters, I haven't done them in a while, so that's something I'm gonna definitely be doing soon because it's very fun for me to do that. And I also, I mean, in addition to that, definitely the Valentine's Day theme one. Uh, Kepler and Charlie are like amazing characters for that, especially because I love them both the most. So
yeah,
that I think that would be great, actually. What
yeah.
about you? Do you think you're gonna be doing anything like that, like making any content?
No, actually not. And by the before I jump into the answer, by the talking about your realistic edits, I think I've said it before, but those were amazing. I mean, I have seen some realistic edits by some others, and these are always something to look forward to, and they bring those characters to life. And I can remember the Charlie one and some others, and I absolutely love them. So yeah, I always look forward to when you bring something out with the realistic edits because it just brings them live. And the neon one. So I'm looking forward to what you bring. And no, actually, I don't have anything planned with editing and stuff. Like I tried doing that sometimes with the shipwrecked love interest, but I did see like people doing this. Like I don't know, I don't think you are doing it, but I saw some like snarky choices. I think yeah, like she was doing like like 14 days challenge or something, like each day, like with like putting out edits. And she did one with Sam, I remember, about Rose or teddy bear, I don't remember exactly. And then the heartbreak one, I remember it was about Dakota and the MC from With Every Heartbeat. So that was something pretty cool. But I will see. I don't know if you remember what I liked last year. Choices sent us an email with Valentine's Day video cards of Open Heart. I love those cards, e-cards with like Ethan, Jackie, Bryce, and Rafael, like something written. That was really cool. I'm probably gonna go over and that email and take a look at it again because I really loved that last year. And yeah, and look forward to like what happens in the community and what choices do for this year.
Oh, I remember that too. I remember coming across that online last year. I thought that they were very, very nice Valentine's Day cards, especially because I just love this game a lot. If they have a new set of characters that they have, if they happen to actually make new Valentine's Day cards this year, I would love to see that. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, but I'm going to be on the lookout because now I'm curious. Wait, I don't know if exactly what happened, but like, did Pixelberry release that on Valentine's Day exactly, so it'd be like tomorrow.
Yeah, but last year they in the about it that on the February Insider they said we're going to be sending out special e-cards of Open Heart, so look out for those and subscribe to the email. And so I don't think they're going to do that this year because they haven't said anything, but they can surprise us nevertheless. And if they do that, I would love to see this time with Wake the Dead characters like Angel, Troy, Shannon, and Ellie. I would love that.
Yeah, I was about to say that I would really like to see cards with those characters. They're they've become my favorite, so that would be very cool. But I have a feeling, like what you said, I have a feeling they're not going to be giving us Valentine's Day cards this year. That's just kind of something I'm thinking because we haven't gotten any sort of email about that. But I mean, it would have been a nice opportunity if we could have at least.
Yep. And I also think last year they did that because Open Heart was this famous series, and it got the trilogy, and the end sequel was last year. So I think it was in the honor of that, perhaps. But yeah, if they, respective of that, if they do that, that'd be pretty amazing. I mean, I always look forward to it, and I'm seriously planning to go back tomorrow and check out the email because it always feels special, and like these characters that we love so much, the game so much. Like I don't know, but since I mostly spent last year at home, except some rare occasions where I went out actually because of the pandemic and stuff. But when I go out, I have less time to come and look into my phone screen. And then when I spend my day out and come back and like read the stories I love, it feels really special and cool. Like whatever may be happening outside, you just come and focus on the screen. You have your own set of characters, best friends, and love interests. It's just it feels so amazing. So yeah, it's always cool to see something like cards and stuff.
Exactly. Choices is such an influential game for a lot of people because
Yeah.
the characters are those are what stay with us. Like not only the amazing and unique storylines, but particular love interests. Like everyone has their own favorite one, and I feel like a lot of people do spend time thinking about these characters too, even when they're not playing, because they're just they're just very easy to bond with. Like in the story, they're very
Yeah.
lovable actually. So obviously, like even with me, like if I'm not playing choices, I still think about it sometimes in other aspects. Like sometimes I'm thinking like maybe I would like to write a little story about some of the characters, or eventually like look into or get into digital art and maybe drawing them. This is like stuff that I think about sometimes because I just really love some of the characters that they have with choices. So it would be nice, and because of that, it would be wonderful to see some Valentine's Day cards. But so far, I'm looking at the email and I don't believe they have one. So I don't
Yeah.
think they have one this year. It's too bad, but maybe
Yeah.
someone can make one.
Yep, I'm pretty much sure. Like, I think you'll be coming up with something, and there are going to be some, in the community with, like editing and stuff. So I'm pretty sure there'll be amazing stuff. Like, it's already the whole February month. I've seen some amazing artworks from some folks. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, talking about choices, it does like I don't know. Like, there's one cool thing about choices. I have not seen it in the recent books yet. I except Wreck the Dead, I guess, and I have not played Crimes of Passion, but I was replaying High School Story and some other books. So there they actually give something like if a character is down, maybe something's going on in their life, and you get to spend actually diamonds and take them to, let's say, somewhere cool like a park or archery practice, and take their mind off of it, or go to club and talk. I think that's really close to real life, because sometimes you also need, like, there's so much going on and we just need to go to some cool place. Like, we can, if we are like having so much stress at a workplace, and we have a gym, we go to a gym with a friend and then do some workout and take our mind off of it, and or maybe do some other fun things. I think I have not seen this particular area in any other app stores or any mm, interactive stories, that they have this perspective, and some things they say, the characters say, it's, I personally feel I learn a lot from them. The words they say, the quotes they say, it's pretty amazing. I find, it's just, I try to implement that to my daily life when I'm going out, getting some time alone, if or doing something to boost up my motivation. So it's really something really special and cool thing I've learned from choices. I gotta say, before that I didn't know that, and it helped me a lot.
I'm not surprised because it's not just a game for me. I mean, it's not a game just a game for a lot of people either. It
Yeah.
means a lot more because I also like what you were saying earlier about scenes where you can go and help a friend of yours who's struggling. That's a very good way to be a friend. So I do love how Choices has those opportunities because it's this is something that you should be doing in real life too anyway. Like if you have a friend who's going through a hard time, taking them to a park to get their mind off of some things that are going on, or taking them to like a restaurant or a cafe. All of those are like really really fun ways to spend time. I mean, I even did that yesterday with friends. So I love that about Choices too, because there's scenes like that, it does give you some value, at least because it gives you a friend, but even if
Yeah.
it's a friend in a story. So there is a lot of value to me for that comes from Choices. And I don't know if other people view it that way, but I know for me I view it as a pretty valuable game when it comes to having characters that can have
Yeah.
like a amazing social life, because it's fun. It's like Choices basically puts you once you start reading the story, you get into this different like mind space. It's like it transports your mind into like a different world, the choices
Exactly.
world. So that's why it's such a amazing experience, and so many people are fans of this app just for like for those types of fun experiences. So I
Yeah.
can see what you were saying earlier. I felt this. I feel the same way about it too.
Yeah. It's just so amazing, and how we can implement this to our daily life. Sometimes like be, get new ideas and improve it. So, yeah, it's fascinating. I found it fascinating.
Yeah, that's why because so although Choices is what I consider to be my number one favorite visual novel app at this time, it's because it has the most content or it's the highest quality. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to these visual novel books, I think of them as very high quality, really really good writing, amazing graphics.
Yeah.
That's
Hands
why
down.
I'm always wondering if there's any app that's similar to it. I mean, there's one only that's kind of similar, but Choices is definitely unique in a way.
Yeah.
So
W-
it's
What other
always gonna
app?
be number one. Well, right now I've also been exploring more of Romance Club too, and I think that
Oh.
this is probably like either like the just as good as Choices or almost as good, but it's very very up there actually.
That's interesting. I've played Romance Club. I have seen some playthroughs in Romance Club, I would say, yeah. But yeah, I mean, choices, it does have that, and even though, like, apart from learning from it, just the characters it has, like some books like High School Story or America's Most Legible, and there are countless other books, but off the top of my head, I can say I have not seen any other apps in or books like these in any other apps. It's just something special, like in AIM, I remember I mainly went for Jen as a love interest, but Adam, Derek, and Mackenzie, man, I think people would be really lucky if they have a friend group like them. If they have a best friend like Adam, like that's like amazing writing and amazing characters we have there.
Oh, I like that. You know that story in particular, although I haven't completed it yet,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
I don't
know
want to
that
spoil.
I do.
Yeah.
I really do like Jen so far. I think she's a wonderful character. I feel like some people may be put off by her, but I definitely want to get to know her more. And there's this other app called Taboo Love
Oh, yeah.
Episodes,
I heard about it.
and they have this story. It's the only story of that type in the app. It's the least like erotic story compared to the other ones on the app, and it's called Matchmaker. So it's
Oh.
kind of like the same idea as AME from Choices, but it's more love based.
Hmm.
But it's the same thing. Like it's similar, but it's just like a love based reality show. You know. So that one, if you were to download that app, I would recommend that story for sure because it's the most exciting one.
Oh.
But what you're saying is, I do agree with that. Most visual novel apps don't seem to really have those stories that have like the complicated character dynamics where you can like build relationships with each character and it actually tracks that in the story and it like affects the storyline too. That I think is like a really complex example, like when it comes to the character story interactions.
Hmm.
I don't see that as much with other apps too. I think Choices does a really really good job with that.
Exactly. I mean, it's just amazing there. And with that, reality TV kind of like the Matchmaker book, I will definitely check it out. Even if I don't download it, I'll try to find some playthroughs if there is one. Since I know this is a really like an explicit game. But yeah, that
Very.
sounds. Yeah, but I have seen playthroughs of Dream Zone and others. Lovesick. So I hope there will be some up on the YouTube.
That's tricky because it's so although it is, you know how I think of so when I look at all of these visual novel apps, some of them I think of the graphics as being kind of not that great, but this one is
Mm,
one of those apps that does have good graphics too.
wow.
So this for so choices, Romance Club, and Taboo,
Good.
they all have very beautiful character design. So that was
Nice.
why it stood out to me, just that aspect alone. But although there aren't really many, you know, there's mostly male love interest in that app, but I know for Matchmaker, fortunately, they do have another option. So that's something that also makes that book stand out in that app. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of sad because I feel like they should have more opportunities, but that will happen later, I'm sure.
Yep, definitely. And then also that's why like choices is like it attracts more people because since the very beginning, like in the love interest department, it was like it I had. I don't think there is even a single choices book that is only that features only a female or male love interest. I don't think they have one. I might be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Is that right?
There is one actually. Well,
Really?
I would say that this counts as it. So, rules of engagement. The main character does not have any female love interest, actually.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
now you mentioned I've heard about it. I was thinking maybe it was bachelor party, but yeah, I think it's rules of engagement. I've heard about it.
Bachelor Party is they have a very good selection of love interests. There's two male ones, but they're kind of bland. Or I mean, a lot of people would say that about them just because their personalities don't really stand out. But Ash, I think he has like a pretty good personality though. But then there is a female love interest actually named I her name is Aisha or
Asha,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
I've heard about it.
Aisha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's pretty cool actually.
Wow.
So however, rules of engagement, they have like the least opportunities for female love interest because you don't even have one for one of the main characters that you
Wow.
could play as. So that one is probably the most like the least friendly
Yeah.
app, like friendly
Story.
book for
Yeah.
certain people who are playing the game. So that one, that's how it stands out to me in that way, and it doesn't stand out to me in a good way if you ask me. But I mean, it was an earlier book, so I'm sure for the Pixelberry team, they had different priorities at that time.
Hmm. Yeah, but that's really interesting because so there's only one, but that's really interesting because I think in every Chaucer's book we almost have except Most Wanted and Crown in the Flames, where you don't have a particular main character. In almost every book, you have like at least one female love interest. So that's like really interesting. The Rules of Engagement doesn't have one, but one good thing is that that's just one of it and one of its kind. It's not gonna get another of its kind so far.
Exactly, because there are a lot of people in this fandom that do like the female love interest too,
Yeah.
and even I've also found it was very interesting how Camila Saeed won the love interest competition online, like the social media one
Oh,
from the Choices official social media pages. I thought that was interesting because a lot of times it feels like the love interests, some of them don't really have as much appreciation
yeah.
or are as popular as others. So that made me very excited because I think of Camila as like one of the best love
Mm.
interests in the whole app. She's
Yeah.
like
She's like
iconic, and
yeah.
I just love everything about her actually.
Yeah.
So,
I know, like I have read just one part, I think the solstice one, and I know what you mean. I have found like all of the love interests are they're unique and pretty special. They're like it's a pretty special book, and yeah, Camila like she has her charms. I know that.
oh, so are you in the middle of a playthrough right now?
No, I have finished the solstice. Yeah,
Oh,
holiday special.
that's pretty cool. Nice. Have you gone through the three main books?
No, I mean, I have only read one or two chapters of the first book, but yeah, I haven't really gotten the time to go through that because every time I try to tell me that, okay, this time I'm going to read it, then every time I think like, okay, let me read AME again. And high school story has like six books, so it always eats up my time in a year. And then I have like Blades, like okay, I got to read it because the book two is coming maybe sometime. And then there's like okay, Hero, I got to play it once again. And then I remember, oh, Big Sky Country. Like, did I do this route? And then so these couple of books just keep me bound to choices, and I really don't get to explore the older books. Of course, I read the newer books mostly, but yep. So, but Bloodbound is one of the best books. I mean, if it were releasing right now, each and every chapter, I would have waited for each anticipatedly. It's like the unexpected errors. A very good book.
It is. Yeah, I think of it as one of the top uh, series on that app, the Bloodbound
Yeah,
series. It's
trilogies.
Oh yeah, exactly. Trilogy. That's a even better word. Yeah. It's when I first read it, it was actually the first story I've also had too. And then I believe the other one that first ever read was Love Hacks and then
Love that.
Bloodbound. And that was years ago before I became like a real Choices fan. So that's series is special to me kind of in that way because I've remembered it from years ago, but I finally actually like went deep into it and got involved when I came back to the app.
Yeah.
So it's been great. It's sad that the story's over, but at least we got like three or four or three books and then like a holiday book too.
Mm.
It makes up for it because that type of series needs a lot of chapters.
Definitely, it was worth it. Like I have only read the holiday special, and it has like some special things to it, and the villains, the characters, like side characters. I know there's a cameo by the Graveyard Shift. It's always special.
Although if you decide to go through it after you're finished like rereading some of the books that you really like,
Hmm.
I would recommend it because it's a whole experience. Like for example, other books that I would also describe that way would be Endless Summer because it's like a long journey. The
Yeah.
book feels like one.
Yeah.
Even books like Distant Shores kinds of feels like a long journey too. So this is
Totally.
also like along the same lines. So it has a lot of content. It's really fun. So if you do choose to like, if you get to it, I think you would most likely really enjoy it, like most fans do, or most fans seem to enjoy it at least. I don't know how everyone feels about it, but to me,
Yeah.
it's like one of those iconic choices series.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I can tell that I have read some of the things of this book, and like the story is spot on, and the ancient thing, the touch it has with the vampire and everything at the start, it's really spot on. I will definitely continue with this. I mean, when I'm done with some other stories. But yeah, I mean, Endless Summer I recently finished last year, May or June, and it was amazing. I know was a long journey. It took me some time, but it was a great book.
That book, yeah, for me personally, like the journey books, the ones that feel like there's a lot to it. Endless Summer, there were Blades is one of them. Distant Shores, Bloodbound, Nightbound too. Yeah, so those are all like the really good action books.
Yeah. Uh,
Which
well,
one do you usually focus on most? Would it be AME?
as a trilogy.
Like which series do you usually like, go back to more? Would it be the AME series?
Hmm. Yep, Amy, and specifically the wedding one because I think that had more drama. And then High School Story, both like the original and the class act. So I almost do like every 1 year or 1.5 year. Like I've done it twice, not like every year is like not a right word here, but yeah, I mean because these two feel like so special to me, specifically the high school story ones. It's like it teaches me a lot, like about friendship and in life in general, and how like to deal with a lot of problems, and just enjoying the life there. And same with America's Most Treasure. It was like fun. It teaches you a lot, and so these two series are super fun. And also there is no like such major issues like with every heartbeat. I usually start to go to fourth or fifth chapter and then restart it again because I know where I'm going and I've already read it once, and going through it second time it's really hard. Same for Endless Summer. With knowing the ending, it's really hard to go through it again. But yeah, like Bloodbound, I'll like to go through it.
Yeah, with Bloodbound, I'm not really gonna get into any specifics because it's like it would be a huge spoiler.
Hmm.
But there can be different endings.
Wow.
Slightly. There's a significant part to the ending that can be different depending on how you play the book.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
interesting.
it's a definitely a special series in that way. Like there's something that happens in the plot that doesn't happen in most other choices books, for example. So
Wow.
that's the hint, but no other hint for that because they want you to read it for yourself and enjoy it.
Of course, thanks. I mean, I would definitely do that. I have started yeah, I'm through the first chapter and I'm into second or third chapter of the first book. It's so far good, and then one thing came or the other. But yeah, I'll definitely carry it on. It's a book worth reading. I know.
Definitely, yeah. And I also wanted to bring up, I'm not sure if you were interested in, like, if you were going to talk about this at some time, but you know how there was a app update for choices?
Um, oh, the copy one. Like, are you talking
Did you
about the
see it?
one that copied the choices characters?
So it looks like this week a choices app update was released. So there's a new feature in the app. So when you open up the app,
Hmm.
you know how there's that play button that's on the top left of the app screen for choices?
Yeah.
It's like an icon. If you click on it, I think it moves too.
Oh
If you
yeah,
remember
it like
that?
twirls. Yeah, it twirls and it like does a spin. Now, if you touch it the first time, nothing happens. If you touch the second time, then it happens. Oh, you know that? That's really interesting. I thought I was just weird and touching and stuff, everything, and I figured that out a long time ago. Yeah, like I was like, what does this do? Like I touched it the first time, it jumped, and the second time, it like moves, it rotates, and then comes back. So yeah, wow.
Exactly. That was essentially like the only functionality or function that button had. But it looks like now it's a place where it stores where you could click on it to access like any notices that Pixelberry is sending out. That was also the place where the VIP book, the VIP member gift that was
Oh,
offered recently. I I guess that's also the same place where you'll go for that too. Like if Pixelberry happens to be giving gifts out at some time of the year, it would be found there, and then maybe even announcements too. Because I know this is like a type of feature that a lot of other apps have too, other similar
yeah,
ones. So I thought it was nice to see Pixelberry add that as well. Because although this app has a lot of content in it, there wasn't really a section of it that had announcements. So it's
yeah.
nice to see this. It helps
Wow,
like flesh out the app more.
wow. That's interesting. I got experiment with that. Yeah, because I remember it was like like it was not with choices, but it was some other app. I don't remember what app it was, but so it was just like this choices like play button there. So it had like the main three love interest photo, and then on top of that, it had the app photo. But then if I started clicking it once or twice, and it had this cool feature. So the love interest, so like how they talk. So on that banner, so that's actually a logo for that app on the home screen. The love interest, one of the love interests will say, "Hey, why are you clicking that? Do you have nothing else to do? Nothing's gonna happen if you click that." So, after when you click that button, the logo, twice or thrice, it's the character says these things, and then if you do it again, it doesn't. Then after four or five times, it repeats it again. So I found that really cool, you know. So I like always like touched these kind of logos here and there in the home screen. But that's pretty amazing that choices are like updating these features, so they don't have to rely on social medias maybe, and they can just be there. I also wonder, you know, in a lot of apps I have seen like there are in-game comments, like you create your account and then you can comment on a game. So I wonder if they do something like that in choices.
Exactly. That's a feature that you'll see on a lot of the smaller visual novel apps, even ones that aren't as popular as Choices, for example, or Romance Club. A lot of them still have that comment feature for the different stories. I would love to see that too. I I'm wondering if Pixelberry will implement that. The only thing is I think it would be a wonderful feature so that people can know like what goes on in that book, but I don't know if it will be implemented. Maybe there might have to be rules for like you can't post a spoiler. I'm wondering how that would work, but it does sound like a wonderful feature to add because I know I would definitely write something about the books.
Yeah, but also there is like one thing about that. Like if I don't think most of the people who go to choices, they actually know about any other social medias like, you know, the choices community on Facebook or, you know, Instagram or Twitter or even choices social media. Because personally when I joined first choices for the first 6 months or 7 months, I didn't know choices had a social media. And for almost 1 year I didn't know choices had a community, like a lot of people interacted with each other. So when you go to the app, you look out for games. So when you have the in-game, you know, comments, what happens sometimes, let's say for a book like Blades, people say like, you know, you go to the comment section, you see like a lot of people saying, oh wow, this is a great book and adventure, and then you play it and you like it, and then boom. And then so if you hadn't that comment feature, you would have probably been exploring other books and you would have never found out Bolus Blades, and you would have probably uninstalled the app saying like it doesn't have any cool book. Now that's one case scenario which really the in-game comment section helped that guy, let's say, or that girl, that person, hypothetically. But the other scenario that can also happen, like you go to read a book that you think like, oh, this looks exciting. Let's see. Let's say it's mismatch, and let's say if you hadn't the comment section there, you would have probably liked the book a lot if you had read, you know, if you had read it for a particular person. And let's say they go to the comment section and they say like, oh, the writer's fired, or you know, this book is not that good, and they can be dissuaded, like, you know, like, oh, maybe I should not give it a read. So that's something, you know, when you're opening the comment section, you're opening a new set of door. Now, I'm not saying it's a problem, but you know, like there's pros and cons to everything. So that's just interesting, like how it will affect the newcomer. So maybe if they do something like until you play your 10 or 11 choices first choices books, like I think they have something like that in episodes, you're not given all the books immediately. You have to read first 4 or 5 books. So that's pretty interesting. Like there's a lot of opportunities and rooms. So it's just really interesting to think about it. What do you think?
Yeah, I view it the same way because when you if you add if the Pixelberry team decides to add that feature where you can comment on the individual books, then it opens up a lot of doors for things that can happen. A lot of other possibilities, like maybe someone will make a comment about the employment status of the writers, or maybe they might spread a rumor about a book that might or might not, end up happening later. So, in addition to just having like the actual description of the book, which is like the bare minimum in the app, now people can also be influenced not just by the
Yeah.
cover of the book, but even by those comments. So there's a potential for that to be really positive or negative. And you brought up the example about the mismatched writers. Mismatch, in my opinion at least, I believe that it was definitely written very well. It's not like the like an exciting action story that's like crazy, but it's still a very nice romance book.
Yeah.
It's a whirlwind type of romance. It's really enjoyable. It's the only, well, I mean, not the only matchmaker book. Well, it is the only like full matchmaker book though. But it's there was comments about how the three writers on the mismatched team were let go, but it I heard that that was because of getting laid off. So I understand that some fans might, uh, make a comment about how the writers were fired, but I don't believe that it could have been just because of the story. It could be, but it's complex, so that's why I someone can write that as a comment, but it might mislead people and
Yeah,
dissuade them, like you were saying. And otherwise, and I don't think that that should dissuade people from reading the book because it is still a very solid book.
yeah, yeah. And I think like, like it's like anything can like it's like I don't know, like it has its benefits, but also it has some, like negative sides. I won't call it negative, but some these kind of scenarios where people may refrain themselves from reading particular books. But I think also, like books, like depending on what happens, it depends on their perspective, and hence the name choices. So if it happens like if you read all the 16 chapters or how many ever chapters are there, you complete the book, and then you go to talk about it. Like when you end the book, then you get to access the comment section and you get to talk about it. You give your opinion. Then I think that's fine because you read from your perspective. Like, yeah, that's what's happening, and I give my perspective here, and then others share. I think that would be a pretty cool thing.
That would be smart. So you're saying that this is a feature that can unlock after the player has finished that particular book. That's a good
Yes.
idea because you could prevent like spam comments or
Yeah,
comments from
spoilers.
people who don't really actually read the book but may have something against it. That
Yeah.
would make a lot of sense, and I do think that's a good idea too.
Also, talking about mismatch, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Choices analyst he shared some things with me, two tweets by one of the mismatch writers, I suppose, and I think they're also with Laws of Attraction because I have seen their Twitter account before when they said they were writing the last chapter of Laws of Attraction for Choices. So they said two things. One, when chapter 3 was out for next one when chapter 9 was out for VIP. So, excuse me. First, they said that originally they had two love interests planned, one Jack and Jacqueline, and second, our main character was, was someone who ran a bar, a small bar in New York City with their best friend. But then they changed the plot, and that's why the best friend became dad. So they said, if you ever wondered why our dad is so hot, that was the reason. So he was supposed to be a love interest, but ultimately they changed it to a single love interest book. And then the second one they said when chapter 9 was out that this book was pretty different when it was originally thought of. So basically, at first they thought the main character would be the matchmaker, the CEO, and they will meet Jack or Jacqueline in the process. But then they changed it up because it would be rags to riches. But for what it's worth, I think that would have been a really good thing because I don't think there are any books and choices where the main character is like superior than the love interest, or where the love interest is inferior. In that, like that thing happens. And also the double love interest take could have been interesting. Could it have been like, slow burn, where we have main love interest like Yvette Everett, and then our best friend here could he have been, or they have been gender customizable. So I find like, I wonder what would it have been if they hadn't changed the original plans. Did you know about that?
Oh, did you read about that on the Choices blog page?
Like,
Because that's actually really interesting information. I wasn't aware of that actually.
no, it was not from Choice's blog. It's actually the writer who wrote this book. He also was on, I don't know, he or she, they were also on Laws of Attraction. So they tweeted these two tweets out when chapter 3 and chapter 9 respectively were out for VIPs back in 2020 or 2019. And Choice's analyst, he actually, I think, found it out and screenshotted it for me, and I think he shared it with me a couple of weeks ago or maybe 1 week ago.
Wow, that's really, really cool. So that makes me think of the possibilities of how the story would have went if they kept the original idea.
Yeah.
I think that would have added like more layers to the story if there
Okay.
was if there was another love interest option, and if the character was someone who was in a position of power as opposed to, being like a competition to that
Yeah.
love interest. That is something that would be really exciting. I wonder if this was to be um, an idea for a second book for Mismatch, which I don't know if it's even going to happen. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity because you would have like another kind of dynamic in the book. Well, obviously, depending on how the book ends, the main character could be in a position of power.
Yeah.
But that's why I think that it would have made sense that Mismatch could have a second book, because then you could have a storyline about the characters working um,
Yeah.
for the matchmaking company, but like in a different sense.
I know. Yeah,
That's
that would
why
have
I
been.
feel like it could be like a series too, even if it's just like a two series book. But I don't believe that's happening. That's
No,
just my
it's
guess.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, no VIP books have gotten a sequel so far. I mean, Wake the Dead can be the trendsetter for this one, or Crimes of Passion, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you on the mismatch thing. Like, I would have personally loved what the original draft would have been like.
Exactly, and it's possible that even that original draft, some elements of it can be used if there was to be a second book. I could see that really clearly, how you can change the main character based on that, or maybe taking back some of those original ideas. So that would have been a really nice um, project for Pixelberry, but it looks like what they're doing is they have to carefully pick their projects anyway for what will definitely, be the best investment for them. So so this is kind of just like me talking about something I wish could happen
Yeah,
or something that would be cool.
yeah, I know. I wish that too. Yeah, it does sound cool, really. Mismatch so far is a good, it's a good book. It's not like so much happening like Wake the Dead or Blades, but also it's also not like nothing's happening and really slow. Like it has stuff. Like I felt like I was reading Queen Bee when we literally um, get Deborah fired and find out that she's the one who poisoned everyone overboard. So it has its fun times, but yeah, it's a pretty like 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 book.
Yes, actually, I would give this a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
So a
it
book
has.
for me that's like 7 out of 10, I would consider it to be better than average.
Yep, definitely. It's a pretty good book. And even like the main character is pretty good, even though I said Queen Bee, but here like I think she's a very her head is in the right direction and she knows what she's doing. So it's pretty fun to see and how she handled Deborah. So far, it's really fun for me.
Yeah, I like the main character. She seems kind of uh, seems to have a sassy personality, a little bit of that. I like the main characters that, not fight back, but like they know how to defend themselves, or
Yeah,
really strong-willed, and she's also very confident. And even
yeah,
though she
that's
pretends to be cocky, it's more confidence than that. So
yeah,
I
it's
also
mature.
really like, yeah, I like the main character for that reason. She has a good
Yeah,
personality.
yeah, definitely. And she's only cocky in front of Jack or Jekyll.
Yeah, that's why I think her cockiness has to do more with just like putting on a show in front
Yep.
of others, rather than
Yeah,
her like really being like that, because it's a very playful dynamic that the main character and the love interest have, is that sometimes
definitely.
it's like silly and also joking. And it's a different type of romance too than usual
Yeah,
choices. It's a whirlwind one, a frustrating one too.
yeah, yeah.
Well, it
They're
can
definitely
be
something.
frustrating.
Yeah, they're definitely something. I would agree with that. Yeah, and I would like to know your opinion. Like a lot of people, like I also saw someone commenting on Instagram and Facebook that they said Maggie is so sweet and Maggie as a love interest because a lot of people are seeming to love Maggie.
Is that something that's like, do you see these comments recently?
Yep, like on the recent posts, like chapter 3 or 4.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, Maggie, she's one of those characters that you're gonna see a lot. So she's like a best friend type of character, but also a coworker character. So she does seem like she's a step up from like a regular coworker relationship. That's probably why like a lot of people like her too. It could be one of the reasons, but she's super sweet though.
Yeah, definitely.
What character does
She's
she remind you of?
um. Let me think. What character she reminded me of? Someone told me she reminded them of I don't know, like Chloe from Queen Bee. But for me, I would say she's really
No.
helping. Um, oh yeah, our bestie from Foreign Affairs, Dion.
Yeah, I do think that Mag she's more like that. That's true. I kind of view her as, what was the character's name? I think I may have just it slipped my mind just now.
Dion.
Dion, okay. She kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of both, like a mix of Dion and Sienna, both of them,
See.
because they're both
Oh,
like really
Obinar.
helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both like super sweet, open,
Yeah.
helpful. So I
So,
think like she's kind of like those characters combined. But the other one that you mentioned, like Zoe, it's possible, yeah. There might be some things about them that are kind of similar. Like they're both assistants in a way to
yeah.
the main character.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
see that actually.
Yep. Yeah, Maggie is a pretty awesome character. Yeah, but yeah, agree. Like the Dion thing. Like at first she's nervous, then gets confident and stands up for herself. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're right. They did have a similar character development. Yeah, that's the biggest similarity among them too.
Yes, and an excessive obsession with love interest, love life. Totally common on both of them.
That, yep, just like Zoe too.
Yep, and buying his outfits.
Yeah, I mean, you just reminded me, how like those choices characters that give you outfits each time, different ones and different stories. Like it just reminded me of that funny one from Veils of Secrets.
Oh,
I
she was something.
she's different, interesting character.
Yeah. Her stories were definitely something.
She kind of reminds me of Aunt Maud in a way. Like they have nice stories about their
Yeah.
special weekend getaways.
Yeah, definitely. I specifically like at the end, like when the main character was there and then she's talking about she's getting married to Judge Winters and she was going, like, she's saying something more, and then main character was like, okay, I gotta go now. That was like super funny.
Yeah, I remember that just now too. She's one of the best in that book. She's amazing, iconic too.
Yeah. She's amazing, And yep, I mean, except the fact that we needed to pay for those outfits. Like she was an amazing character. Like I hope like she had more of a role to play in the book, but I think she was just like there to like soothe our pain when we had so much going on, like almost seeing a dead body and stuff.
Yeah, she was like the character that felt like home
Yeah,
to the. Um,
exactly.
Even though like the main character wasn't in their hometown, she was kind of like she was a very open character, very helpful. I thought it was just kind of funny. So she was designated as the wardrobe person of the book. I know
Yeah.
Shreya was one for her book.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Elementalist. Yeah. There is some characters. Yeah. Who takes responsibility of her wardrobe. Um, I wonder who is it for surrender because I don't in Nanny Affair it was Jenny, in Blades who don't wear outfits, not Blades, Wake the Dead, but in Surrender I think the first one we just wear by ourselves and that's what we put on, but I just wonder like oh interesting. I don't think our main character has any best friend to start with. I know there's this a person, Mallory or someone at workplace, but
Mallory.
like a
Yeah.
generic person.
Well, Mallory, yeah, she is kind of the best friend character. I mean, even though she doesn't have that title and is a coworker, she's still like the best friend character in that way for that series at least. And that is a good question though. Like who's the wardrobe person in this book? Yeah, I don't think there's a clear one actually. I really don't. I think it's more of like situational based on the chapter. So you'll have someone who gives you this or another character who gives you an outfit. So there's no really designated one in Surrender.
Yeah.
Surrender's a little bit different that way.
Yeah. And by this outfit, I just remembered and I just I couldn't hold my laughter. I mean, I was like, what was she doing there? I mean, Reagan with them, their assistant is Lexi. Wow. I mean, she is in a lot of choices books now.
Oh, you mean Lexi?
Yeah. Her assistant, they're same, right?
Oh, I remember there is so when in Reagan's office there's yeah, there is a coworker who's also described as being another ruthless lawyer. It's the same one as a character from the Royal Romance. I think named Amalas. Do you remember that character?
Oh, yes. Oh yeah, I think I do. She was a red coat, like right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
She's
have
like
seen. Yeah, yeah.
so
Go on.
she's one of the so she's like the second top lawyer in Reagan's firm. And then you said Lexi too. For some reason I saw Lexi also. Like
Yeah, she was the
sh
assistant.
oh, okay, that makes sense. Now I finally remember that. Okay, because I've been playing this book. Yeah, I remember that now. So she's like the second presence that's in that law firm. Lexi.
Mhm.
She's everywhere.
Oh, yeah, she is. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I just read. I think yesterday. Yeah, yesterday the first two chapters of Surrender. Wow, the music and the backgrounds were really amazing. To begin with, like the whipping sound that was they pulled it off really well. And Reagan's office, like the window, like the glass windows, and then outside, like how the other buildings represented at specifically at daytime, it was really realistic. You know what I mean? It's like I can feel like I'm at the building, maybe present with meeting a really high profile lawyer. That was a really spot on thing for me. How'd you feel about the backgrounds here and also the fancy restaurant? Wow, that was amazing.
The backgrounds for Surrender are I'm impressed with them. They're very good for the story. I mean, I feel like it's perfect choices that they made for the
Mm,
backgrounds. There's a lot of different choices files for like for the office background types, and that one would be one of my favorites. I do like it a lot. It kind of reminds me of also like some of the offices that were in Laws of Attraction. Some of them were
yeah,
very very nice looking.
interesting.
This also has some of that too. And there's also a very unique room in that book too. So that to me, I like the what I like about Surrender is just like the difference in the type of content that it has compared to the other stories.
Yes. So far, what I liked about it the most, I would say, the love interest perspective. Like, I don't know what it is. I think there was in this My Two First Loves, we read three chapters respectively from three love interest perspective. But this is a book where it was interesting to see it from Reagan's perspective, like how it was going, and um, it was an interesting, like thing. Like, I've only read two chapters, but so far it's building up good. It's I didn't think it would be that good. Like, I just skimmed over the first two chapters when it was first released, but it's looking good. Like, it does have the potential. Like, the BDSM setup, it's really good. Even though I think a little bit more time could have been given, like how the introduction of MC and Li, because I think it's like in Nanny Affair and in Laws of Attraction, like the Gabe and Sam, like that seal meeting and the art scene. I think they could have been a different way of seeing that. But other than that, and part the BDSM part, how they're going about it, it's just I think the setup is really good. There could be more to it. Like, the promise is good. The story has a good promise, and the base is good. Let's see how they build it up from here. How the building goes from here. Premise is good. You there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So, did you hear me?
Good, good. Yeah, I heard you. So, for Surrender, to me, I just think of it as like a sexual exploration book, and that's what I like about it because it does feel like a plot. It's just a different type than we've
Yeah.
ever gotten.
Yeah.
Because you have like an innocent main character who's like exploring themselves and certain
Yeah.
aspects of their life. That's what I really like about it too.
Yep. Yeah.
So
That's.
that's why for me it still feels like a journey because you have this awkward, well, slightly awkward main character who's being like who's basically pushed into this new world that she's never been a part of, the BDSM world. So it's still really fun for that and looking forward to see how it ends also.
Yeah.
And especially Reagan the Reagan Thorne character development, something I'm looking forward to because she may have not, or I mean not just she, but like they are not really the most likable character, but they do have potential at least.
Yeah, but like, I do agree with you. But when I started reading from start and all the warnings and stuff, I mean, well, I think I said it last time. Like, a lot of people said it's kind of similar to 50 Shades of Grey. And as far as I can remember, like, it was the same thing. The Christian Grey was not the ideal person, but that was the main line of the story. Like, they were not, but how at the end things change, and like he understood, like, it has to be like a love, like something more than just using them as a toy, their love. So I think I'm all up for it. I mean, of course, like, there could be something like they're not perfect at first, and given the kind of basis it is, or story it is, but how they develop, I would agree with you. Like, it's gonna be something really interesting to see. It's like our father from My to First Loves. He was not perfect, but we watched them grow, and that's something that doesn't happen. Like, we see a villain staying villain throughout a book. We see a perfect character saying a good character, but a character who starts off bad, and then the writers work on development of them, and how you have the chance to do that. I think very few books have that, and I really love those books. Like, off top of my head, I can think of My Two First Serves, our main character's father, and Alistair from our book, that's Endless Summer, and there's some I would say Bastien from Wolf Pride, how that was developed. And then there are a few, I won't say Poppy because she says literally says the same kind of, but yeah, I mean, they really do good work with these characters.
Yeah, that's also how I view it too. With Alistair, that character development or that character evolution is kind of a little iffy, but there is one. You're right. There's a character transformation even for Leela.
Yep, Leela. Yeah, I actually felt sympathy for her. That's an interesting question you brought up. What did you do? Did you kill her? Or no, no. Did you let Estella kill her, or did you tell Estella to not kill her? What'd you say?
I believe wasn't there an option for sacrificing?
It's
Because
been
I
a long
remembered
time.
because I remembered that there was a very important choice in Endless Summer, which now I'm very interested to look into again. I remember with Leela, from what I remembered, there was an option to let her uh, help out in whatever way that she can.
Could have been.
Yeah, so for me, I know I also had some sympathy for her too. I think she's a great character, but
Definitely.
she was just formed or at least like influenced by someone who isn't really the best person out there or not. She her role model was someone who was very flawed.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Rourke was. I think he's my top villain in the choices. And also with the ending, how we're given the route. In one route, literally he wins and he becomes the emperor. So I don't think there is a villain in choices like Rourke. Like who is not like Martin. Like, oh, Jan, what a lame villain, and just a sore loser. I think there was like more to him, like his ideas, his ideology, what he believed, like going against the nature. It goods on theory on paper, but how it really is not good in practically, and how much he justified hurting people for the sake of his own research. He hurt his own family. It was really interesting, like how the writers built his character. That I always get amazed whenever I talk about Endless Summer and Rourke.
Right? I that makes me want to compare all of the the choices villains, and you know that that one of the villains are also associated with, was it
Hero,
Rourke or
hero,
yes, exactly.
Silas,
Yeah, Silas, and so Silas and Rourke were in
their
the same
buddies. Yeah,
social circles.
of
They are
course.
very similar. I could tell immediately.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah, and I think our main character and of both the books could have been related. It's again like when I'm talking about this, it really hurts again all over again, like it did last year. Like Hero book too. I mean, literally, it has so much potential. There's so much unanswered question. We could have seen a link between Rourke and Silas, or you remember in Hero book one, we end up in a crystal world, and that was also from Endless Summer. So wow, I mean, the possibilities
Yeah,
are like insane.
that to me, it's just the choices opportunities that just never happened. It's sad to
Yeah,
look at, but
yeah,
although I'm not, although I'm still a very dedicated choices fan, it's just that time of choices history where there was a lot of very good potential, but it just never really happened because of various factors. Maybe
yeah,
even like the global health crisis too. That could have probably been like a lot of it, but there were other things such as like changes in the book team members too
yeah,
that may have influenced something getting canceled. But
definitely.
it makes me think of what could have been too. Sometimes sometimes I think of that also.
Yeah, 100%. It's always sad. I just hope like the same thing doesn't happen with Blades, because so far I really love like Blades, and let's see what happens. And also, this book has really specific, unique main characters. So I want this book to get a sequel, as Justin Shores did not.
Exactly. It has that RPG book feeling to it.
Of course.
I'm really really enjoying it, and some people are very skeptical of whether or not it's going to be released. because we don't really have a true assurance or any proof right now. So
Mm,
I do understand that the Pixelberry team is really, really busy, and some books take a lot more effort and resources than others. So it is possible, definitely, that the book is in progress and that it just takes a lot longer. But then when it gets delayed, the chances that it's going to be released do seem like it decreases a lot just based
yeah,
on past events. So I don't want that to happen either. And I also really, really enjoy Nia. She's a lovely character in every
of
way.
course. Yep. I mean, all the characters are really enjoyable in this book. Trip.
Thrup, yeah, yeah, definitely he's like one of my favorites too. The
Yeah.
sassy, angry cat.
Yeah. I saw a video on Instagram about a cat like saying something, and I felt like it was pretty similar to Trip, like what he would say, perhaps.
Yeah, so Thrup kind of reminds me of. Did you see Sabrina the Teenage Witch show?
Nope, I did not.
So there's this cat character named Salem that also talks and is also very, very snarky. So
Mm.
that character has always reminded me of Threep. So yes, I
Ye-
love Threep. I think he's awesome.
Yep, the writer, I think he said like he originally planned, or they thought that Trip would be like would have a Danny DeVito voice, but like a British voice.
That would actually be very fitting. I can see Threep having a British accent actually. I I can imagine that. So
Yeah,
now that I go back to the book, this is probably going to come up in my mind trying to read the dialogue
yeah, that'd be
in
fun.
that voice internally.
Yeah, amazing. That'd be amazing. Okay. All right, so if you don't have anything else to add about the discussions we have, I would love to go through some of the, guess the choices character questions that Eric Marine, one of the viewer, posted for you to go through.
That would be awesome. I would love to.
Yep. Do you have anything else to add before we jump into it?
So you can start with that. I do have several choices, imposter descriptions as well. So let me know. But I would love to start with the one that was sent in too,
Yep.
or whichever one you would like to do first.
Okay, so we can do like I do one of these and you say one, so that'd be like 1-1. That'd be amazing.
Cool. Yep,
And
that
be,
that
and
works.
And since I know maybe you're gonna get it in 10 seconds or 20 seconds, because that's been the case. So yeah.
We'll see if I could keep that streak going.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep. Let's see. All right. The first one. Who am I? This character is kind and confident. While you work with them, and this character has blonde hair, and it says a hint is love interest.
Okay, so this is a love interest that has blonde
Blonde hair.
hair. What personality?
They're kind and confident.
Is this a Avery from Platinum? Platinum. Well, I think of Avery just because they have a very sweet personality.
Yeah, no, it's not Avery, but the book I think is kind of along that line, but it's not Avery.
Okay. I'm
Yeah, we
gonna think
work with
about
them.
this.
We
Oh,
work.
really?
Yeah, really. Ah,
It looks like you just said it to me, but then I like kind of blinked out. So
okay.
you're saying that this is a love interest, right? Okay, that narrows it down. Actually, that does
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, so love interest has a blonde hair, works with us, and this is kind and confident. And I'm gonna give you the cherry on the top, and that is this book main character has let's say some special abilities.
Oh, okay. So this is a character that's non-human or
N-
is human but has abilities?
No, like I don't know. I'm talking about the main character has some special ability, but they're human. Everybody's human.
Oh, okay. So I'm thinking about this right now because, well, there is a love. Is this going to be a love interest that's customizable?
I don't think so. I think it's a normal love interest. Like,
So it's a set appearance for this love interest.
yeah,
And
yes, yes.
is this from um, wishful thinking?
Yeah, say the name.
This is a love interest. I know who it is. I just don't know. Okay, it's Aubrey, I believe. Aubrey Watson. I remember
Yeah,
he's the blonde from that book.
yeah, you're right. You're
Wow, I'm
absolutely right. It's
surprised.
Aubrey. Wow,
Wow,
you
I'm
got there fast.
surprised because that book I don't think I finished it yet, but I do remember Aubrey.
Yeah, it was
I did
Aubrey.
see that. That's awesome.
Uh,
Getting a question from that book, good, because I feel like wishful thinking is not really discussed a lot. So that was very welcome for me. I liked it.
yep. And the next book, I know you're gonna like it, but I'll let you go first and throw me a question.
Sure. Okay, so I will go right now.
Yeah. All right. Game is
So
on.
this character is a mysterious lover who later allies with your team based on the aftermath of a freak accident. Before that happens, this character does need some convincing first.
Is it Steve from Perfect Match?
No, not
Okay.
Steve.
Okay. All right. Okay. Accident. Lover. Let's see. Hmm. Nice.
Perfect match. So I'm trying to see like if that's a similar type of book to this.
Yeah.
In a way, it is kind of.
In a
They
way.
do
Okay.
they do have two very similar elements like a crew.
Okay. Let's see. Can you repeat the question again?
Sure.
Yeah.
So this character is a mysterious lover at first, who later allies with you based on a very strange occurrence at a work
Is
event.
is it the the chauffeur from The Unexpected Heiress?
No.
It's,
So it's a mysterious lover, which is so it means it's one of the love interests that you have an
oh,
opportunity
oh,
with,
oh yeah.
and this love interest allies uh, with the main character after a strange incident happened in their city. So before they're able to be before they join this crew, they have to be convinced by you first.
Hmm, it's a good one. Okay. It's a really good one. Okay. Um,
Thank you. If you do need like a hint, let me know, and I'll be happy to give
mm,
one.
no, but like I do want to do it without hint. Okay, that's like more fun. Okay.
That's true.
Is it like from Nightbound? Is it Cal?
No, it's not Cal. Actually,
Okay.
this
All right.
person has a different type of personality. Cal is like the very sweet and sensitive type of love interest.
Yeah. And we're
This
talking about
one,
mysterious,
this one is mysterious and flirty.
flirty. Okay. Hmm, okay. So the good one. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm thinking about the books. Okay.
Yeah, maybe you could ask me about like the book so I could confirm that maybe. That would make it easy too.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, if I know the book, I think then it's kind of easy to you know point a finger
Yeah.
to the love interest. But yeah, I'm just trying to do it without knowing the book. Just city and mysterious and flirty. Let's see. Mm.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
hint is that you have an answer? Cool.
no, I was just asking, like, is it a supernatural book?
Yes.
It is. Okay. Oh. Um. Is it Parker?
No, actually, I can see why you would say that. This character Parker has a similar dynamic.
Yeah, but he's not flirty exactly. Yeah, I know, but it's just
Yeah, and not
yeah.
as mysterious either. So this character is mysterious because they're not really part of this character's friend group. However, later on, they do have opportunities to spend time together based on what happened to
I,
everyone or what
I
happened
feel
to certain people.
I know, I know. I feel like I do know, but it seems like hmm, flirty. I was thinking of Astra, but she's not like really flirty, and she's rather shy, so it's not her. Um,
Yeah, that's true. She's more of the shy, innocent type of love
yep,
interest.
yeah. So who it could be? Let's see. In their city, are we anyhow looking for Angel Savage here?
You're thinking it's Angel?
Yep, because she's mysterious. She is not flirty, but that way, but sassy. She's really sassy.
Well,
But we
they
don't have a
they're
city.
remotely close to each other. This is more of like think New York environment.
Okay. Okay. Let me go back to perfect match for a second.
What if
Okay. Yeah.
it's not even New York? Well, that's just what I think the city looks like in the book.
Ooh, it's interesting. Okay. Oh, you got me good. You got me good. Okay. Let me think. Supernatural books.
I'm
No.
surprised you think this one is actually good. I mean, I'm glad to hear that.
No, no, it's really good. But yeah, listen.
So it is definitely like a supernatural based, but not the type that's like bloodbound. It's a different type of supernatural.
Okay.
So maybe that could help actually.
Okay.
Like
Yeah. I'm thinking. It's not blood panic. What is supernatural books? Do. Oh. Hmm. Is it very flirty, mysterious lover? Is it Kenji?
you're getting warmer.
Is it Minuet?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of her. Yeah, like why I said Kenji is because you said flirty. So Minwet was at first a bit distanced because of her father's situation and stuff. So I thought maybe because Kenji is like really sassy and like it's kind of like a male. So I was thinking along, but it was a really good one. It was like I think I really thought along the line of Hero when he said it's supernatural but not like bloodbound. But wow, like hats off, it was a really good one. It was really a good one. I was strangled.
Thank you. Thank
Oh
you that because I feel it's not really talked about. I think
no.
that she's significant in
Yeah,
her
and
own
she
way.
came in a lot later also. I hope like I wish if it had a book too, she would have gotten more time. But yeah, I mean, and Hero's also a book worth discussing. So yeah, it was a good one. Wow. All right.
Like, cool how there's like the planet that hero you cross the void.
Yeah.
I think even But to
Exactly. Another book I think also the Crystal World. Yeah. All right. Oh, Endless Summer. Yeah. Endless Summer. Yes. All right. So the next one, I think you're gonna get it, even though I don't know. Like there's 50-50 chance, but yeah, there you go. Who am I? This character is confident, but is very afraid of the sight of blood and is a bit nervous while piloting through the. Uh, I can't really say that. Um, okay, okay. Let me think of a different phrase for this. Okay, this character is confident, but is very afraid of the sight of blood and is a bit nervous while piloting through. Let's say piloting um through the black, through the skies. Let's say, and the hint is it's a love interest. By skies, not skies. Let's say galactic skies or space. Let's say space.
okay, so this is a love interest who's scared of blood.
Yep, it's a scared of blood, and but they're really confident.
Is this Titania or Soul?
No, it's not. Not you're pretty close, but it's not titanium.
Hmm. A character that is scared of the sight of blood.
Think along the lines of like friend. Like they are our love interest, but also like think
Oh,
along the
I
line.
see. Zakay is scared
Yeah,
of blood, right? I remember
yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah.
He's
And
awesome. He's an awesome character. I love
yeah,
Zakay. He's like the best friend ever.
yes. And also you got it right. It's across the void.
Nice.
Yep.
That makes me happy. I'm glad that I got that one because I love
Yeah,
that book.
I know. Definitely. All right, your turn. Shoot.
Okay, so I'm ready.
Yep. Go on.
So this character has the same romantic partner as the main character does. And this person in particular was even that romantic partner's first kiss. With encouragement from their friend and neighbor, they can pursue their own romantic relationship with someone else.
Can you repeat it again a bit? I mean, it just
Sure.
yeah,
I'll speak as if I'm the character. I
yeah,
had
yeah.
the same romantic partner and was even their first kiss. With encouragement from the neighbor and best friend, I pursue my own romance with someone else. This one's very vague.
Hmm.
This is a character who isn't the most social, but needs encouragement to put themselves out there more. So that's also a characterizing, or
Well,
this is a type of character.
I know where we're going. Actually, I was reading the first chapter this morning, but if you won't mind, please can you repeat it again so I can just like triple
Sure,
sure?
sure,
Yeah,
of course, yeah, I'd be happy to. So
yeah.
this character has the same romantic partner as the main character does. This person even happened to be that partner's first kiss ever. So, with encouragement from the main character, who also happens to be their neighbor, they
Oh,
start to pursue um, a love interest or their own romance on their own.
oh, I got
So
it.
it
I
takes
got it.
them a push.
Yeah. But to make sure, is the like said character who romanced didn't romance like who had the first kiss with the person who is the main character's current love interest or
Hmm.
was the current love interest. So did they like? freak out after the kiss because of some medical condition of that character with like the love interest.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, it's Amy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh
I'm
yes.
glad. Yeah, so that I'm glad you got that. That's great, actually. It was a it's Amy. It was something that
Yeah.
surprised me too because it was revealed later on that
Yeah, I know.
Amy was involved.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yep. And and also I remember like in the first chapter how Amy says to a main character that you really don't want to like when main character expresses that she is really into Dakota and they say like you really don't want to get to know Dakota. She's good and popular kid, but she also comes about 8 seasons worth of drama, HBO drama.
Yeah, I remember that too. I would because I was rereading that book, first few chapters. I like Amy. I think she's a great character, but a bit protective.
Yep.
I
Uh,
really like how she's able to have her own romance too. I just thought it was
Heather.
adorable. Yeah, and I love the representation too. It makes me happy or smile inside to see different kinds of couples.
Yeah, definitely. Amy and Heather, they were like this was really adorable, and when they're like making eye contact across the table, the main character thinks to themselves herself that I'm gonna have to tease Amy later about this.
Yeah, I love their friendship dynamic. They're adorable.
Yep, definitely. And at first I thought Heather would be a bit like maybe would be like jealous of us, but she turned out to be a really sweetheart character. I mean, all the characters were sweetheart there. Like, they were really awesome.
Yeah, they're a very good bunch of people, definitely. They're worth it.
Yep, definitely. But yeah, I mean, Amy Heather, they were really amazing in that book, and Amy was also like the best friend and well represented, specifically in the aftermath of what happened.
Yeah. Um, at first, I remember that Amy made a joke about how she's just like looking for a study partner, but they're more than that, definitely. Like they're
Definitely,
actually close friends.
yeah.
So I'm glad
It's
about that too.
yeah, SATs. Yeah, I mean, one of the best books. I remember last year around Valentine's Day, they actually released the book for non VIPs, and that time they used to release the whole book, like all the 16 chapters, and I completed it within February, and it was amazing and emotional. Love that book.
Oh, so you read it on that month. That's why it's significant for you for Valentine's Day. I understand that now. That's a really good book to read for Valentine's Day too.
Yes, it's like represents a true love, It's and the some words of Dakota and some sentences they said and how it's written. It's really represents the eternal love. I really love that.
It is. That book is has a very, very special place in my heart.
Yeah,
Dakota is
same,
one of the best.
same. Really like an interesting book and really emotional roller coaster. Yeah, it's. I'm really glad we have a book like that.
Yeah, I know. It's very hard to read it because it's emotional, but it's still like a book that I consider to be worth it. It just takes time to read it because it's very heavy, like the subject matter of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess I won't be able to complete it. I don't know. Maybe for time because I know what's gonna happen. I usually start the first few chapters and then restart it again because I really love to be in that loop because it's really hard how it goes from there.
Oh, so what you like to do is after a couple of chapters that are being released, you like to restart it and then wait
Yep.
for the new ones? Yeah, I've heard of some people doing that actually. At the moment, what I usually do is I keep the chapter that I last finished, but there are some cases where I also go back to restart and replay it, especially if it's like really fun and you miss the earlier chapters or you wanted to do them again because they were so fun.
Yeah, I do that with every hardware because after 4 or 5 chapters, it's really hard to like. I feel like because I know exactly what's going to happen. I've read it once, so it's really hard to go through that again. So I just restart it again, and like when we first met Dakota, we go to that place. It feels like a happy moment, like we're stuck in that loop, like a Groundhog Day. So you don't have to
Yeah,
face the ultimate thing.
I know what you mean. That yeah, I can see why someone would do that. Definitely. That's
Yeah.
I mean that's interesting. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. That was just an amazing book. All right, the next one I have here an interesting one. Let's say, who am I? This side character dabbles with magic. She comes off as a bit of grouch, but eventually agrees to help your group out with a certain spell. And this is a she. Let's go. Let's say. Yeah, she. I always say she. So to repeat it again. So this is a side character that dabbles with magic. She comes off as a bit of grouch, but eventually agrees to help your group out with a certain spell.
It makes me wonder if this is from Nightbound.
Hmm, good guess. It's a supernatural book. It's kind of nightbound, but it's not nightbound actually.
So Nightbound is set in the same world as Bloodbound.
I mean, I meant kind of like the supernatural perspective, like what we see in certain scenes of Nightbound, like those prospects match with this particular book that I am talking about. The characters from here. I don't know about Bloodbound, but in Nightbound we do have the same, let's say, creatures, like not exact creatures, but the type of creatures in some
Oh.
places.
So this is a Wolf Bride character.
No, I led you the wrong way. Think about supernatural.
Oh. Okay, okay. So supernatural. So this is a character. Is this like an ally character?
It becomes our ally, but it's like it's they're not our friend, but they just help us out with our one of the spell. And let's say they are infamous. Like it's like
Oh,
kids are not asleep. Yeah, go on.
is this so it sounds like a character like Azura. It sounds
Is
like that
from what book?
from The Crown and the Flame. She's so is this a magic user character?
Yeah, you are in the right path. The name is kind of like Azura too, but it's not Azura. But yeah, they use magic. They help our main character with a spell. After we make them do it, like request them, and they also sacrifice their life because the spell fails ultimately. I
Oh,
mean, not sacrifice, but
okay.
they die.
That makes me think of a character, a witch character from It Lives in the Woods.
Yeah,
A witch character. I think the last name was Pritchard.
yeah. Cora. Yeah, you're right. It's
Oh,
her.
really?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised that I got that.
You're spot on. Yeah, I did lead you the wrong way twice, but yeah, you're here. Yeah, I said the creatures because in Nightbound, we on the ship we saw ghosts.
Yeah, you're right. There are those similarities. That is true. I was just thinking of like the werewolf, so I just thought of that and thought of Wolf Bride, but that was a very good one. I just never
Yeah,
would have thought it would be from that book, but it makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So Eric did do some good job with these, and yeah, I love this Cora one, so I wanted to give it to you. Your turn.
Thanks. Okay, I'm ready. So, although
Yeah.
this character is the top leader of the region, Some others in that area later on find out about a terrible secret and are escaping this leader so that they can save themselves. Who is that leader?
Okay. Who is the leader? So, let's see. It's an interesting one. Um, Oh, is it Marcus Blackstock?
Yes,
Oh
it's
yes.
it's that character.
Yeah, I was thinking like who could it be? Like Endless Summer, and then I remembered like oh no, it could be from Wake the Dead, Marcus Blackstock. Sorry, I always got to get his last name twisted.
Oh no, you're good, but yeah, that one I don't know. Was that one? Did you consider this one to be easy or like medium level?
Mm, I wouldn't say it was an easy one, but the difference is I think I'm reading Quake the Dead recently, so it just popped up in my mind because because I'm talking about Marcus Blackstock so much maybe in the past weeks or past month, so it just popped up. But it was a good one, uh, if it were a book released 1 year ago or 2 year ago, it would have been hard to think of this.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was excited to, put in other characters. Well, definitely in the future, like other ones, but definitely including Wake the Dead, especially because
Yeah,
you've begun reading it as well too.
yeah. So it was a good one, Marcus Blackstock and like the leader thing, and I think I'm just personally invested in Marcus Blackstock and it's like in lots of theories like what could happen. So that just came to my mind like it could have been Marcus Blackstock, but yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, it also makes me think for that book how we don't really see Marcus Blackstock a lot. Only a few times we did. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna spoil anything actually, so I'm just gonna stay quiet about that. But it would have been nice to see him more. But who
Yeah,
knows? Like it might turn out that way later, where you have
I
more
think he's gonna
interactions.
yeah. He has the potential to be one of the best villains in choices. Like let's see what happens.
Like one of the most sophisticated. Exactly. I'm thinking that too.
Yeah, like one of the most hated twos. Yeah, let's see what happens. All right. Okay, so this one is really interesting. Let's see. Who am I? This character belongs, or this character is a part of the supernatural world. They have a skin color um, to him, so they are not the normal skin color. And if they think that the skin color is blue, okay, so they have a blue skin color to them, and they think they are very smart, but they're bad with telling jokes.
Is this Tyrell or Tyrell Star Fury?
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Oh, really? I'm surprised that I got that one, but I'm glad that I did. Because
I
I
was.
thought of him, because I was like, this guy is boring. Well, I'm not saying he's boring, but he's just, he's very dry.
Oh,
That's literally
it,
what I thought about him as a character, so I was like, immediately, it must be this.
oh, yeah. God, I mean, tell me about it. I'm sure if Mal was a real character, he would have appreciated you saying those words.
Exactly, because he's the opposite of that guy. Mal's like
Yeah.
the complete opposite.
Yeah, and he likes to tease Tyrell about these things too. Oh,
I love that book. So many memories.
yeah, I love that. But yeah, I'm just still laughing like how quickly you got that. Wow, that's
I'm
really
kind of
interesting.
surprised too.
Okay, all right, your turn. Go.
Sure. Okay. So this character joins the major journey last, And this is a character that is considered to be one of the main crew members. However, although they are a main crew member, they did join the community last. Or so on one unexpected trip with this character, they offer to take you to an exclusive tour to see a
Kepler.
beautiful landmark.
Kepler.
Oh, yes, it is. It is. I have a feeling it was because of the way, like the writing, it was very clear for this.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, when he
glad.
said when he said about the late joint, I was thinking of first Angel. Then I was like, is it Imtera? And then you're like, like then I was like, no, like knowing you, could it be somehow Kepler? And then it was like, the tour part. I was like, okay, it's gotta be Kepler. Oh.
It must have been the tour one. Yeah, I had a feeling that it was that. Um,
And recently you posted a video on your Instagram, so that just refreshed my memory also.
oh, really?
Yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah, I remember. I posted a scene about that particular
yeah,
character when they joined, but it was like a scene that was a few chapters after. But yeah, I posted that just because I kind of figured, that I do like watching some of the short choices clips too. So I thought, why not choose like a 30 diamond scene and, post that.
yeah,
So that's something I'm trying to post, like full playthroughs of chapters and then clips from some of those chapters as well. But yeah,
yeah.
that you got that one very fast. So that good job with that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but like I don't think there is much across the void playthrough, specifically, with like with the female character, and maybe with like Kepler specifically. Like, I don't think there are much. So yeah, it would be amazing, like if you post this on YouTube, like one chapter per week or something, because that would be amazing to see, or on Instagram perhaps, like the across the void full playthroughs, and it's also such an underappreciated book.
It really is. So that's definitely a possibility because what I would do is I would post a Kepler route. I mean, she's kind of, well, not kind of, but she's pretty much like one of my top two favorites.
Kind of.
So maybe that would be a really good opportunity for me. I'm gonna consider that too. Actually, I think I would like to do that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I'd love to see that. Yeah, and I know you'll be excited for that.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. I've got another one. This is kind of a vague one, but let's see if you get this one right. Okay. What did I write? I can't even read my own handwriting. Yeah. That's one. Counter, like it's why, like writing on pen and with pen and paper is counterproductive than writing on computer or whatever. Oh yeah, fashionista, I remember. Yeah, so this character is a bit of a fashionista and is perky, also energetic, and does not like violence at all. Main character's good friend, if not best friend, and our main character can get to do a little matchmaking to get them together to someone who like to keep it to themselves, and they're very nerdy, and well, I can't proceed further. But yeah, if you don't get it, then I'll give you further clues.
Oh, okay. So this is a fashionista character, a
Yeah,
best friend character.
it's a she. It's a she. It's a female character.
Oh, I see. Dion is comes was what comes
Hmm.
to my mind, but it's not the
I
same one.
I know why you would say that, because our main character does some matchmaking for her too. She's a fashionista, and she's perky, she's energetic, and yep, it matches all the things.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's
And
pretty similar too.
yeah, I mean, actually, Peter is also nerdy, and I did say that also. So yep, I think it's right, but let's see. Yeah, does not like violence at all. I think that's the part where it's going to be different. But
Oh,
yeah,
so
Dion is a
okay, so this is a
valid.
different character.
Yeah, it's a different character, but well, the character descriptions do match. Um, Dion. Let's just say it's from a supernatural book to make it separate from Dion, but just to make sure the guess you said matches all the qualities. So that's interesting how they have the same quality.
Oh, okay, so this is from a supernatural book, a
Yeah.
character that is a fashionista. Hmm, this is a hard one.
Okay. Let me sum it up for you. Okay. Uh, it would help. So what I said so far is this character is a bit of fashionista. She's perky. So she also energetic. They do not they. She does not like violence at all. She's main character's good friend, if not best friend, and our main character can get to do a little matchmaking to match her with another friend of ours who's a bit nerdy and likes to keep to his work and his research or whatever he's doing. It's a supernatural book, and we make a good group, the three of us, and we
Okay,
take up
is this like the perfect match book or similar?
similar, very not very similar. Let's say, yeah, like the supernatural kind of book, but think about not
Oh,
that new.
I'm thinking that this is a character named Poppy, the other Poppy that's from Hero.
Yeah, you're right. It's Poppy from Hero.
Oh, okay, nice. I have not talked about her in a while, but I like her. She's an awesome character.
Okay, yeah, you got it
Wow,
right. Yeah.
I'm surprised. That's a very good one. You don't usually think about Poppy from that book, but I'm glad I got that one. That was fun.
Yep. You did really good. All right, your turn. And after do, I have a very special character, but I'll let you go first.
Sure, I'm ready.
Yep, go on.
So, what is an example of a character who is very emotionally distant? Emotionally distant, however, a character that has a lot of power and influence in their city. This character is also a professional.
Hmm. Professional. So until you said professional, the emotionally distant thing kind of made me think of Tristan. But the professional, is it Gabe?
Similar, similar type of character, but
Similar.
it's definitely not Gabe.
Gabe. It's not Gabe. Okay. All right. Hmm.
Gabe, I would say, is emotionally distant sometimes, but is not as emotionally distant as this character. But they're both professionals, so
Okay.
that's true.
Okay. Yeah, are they our love interest? Of course, they're because you mentioned emotionally, right?
Yes, an emotionally distant love interest.
Definitely not Sam. um, let's see. Is it
Well,
Reg?
Sam. Oh, yes, it is. Were you about to say Reagan?
Yeah, it's Reagan.
It is actually.
Yeah, I was thinking of Sam, but then I was like, Sam was not emotionally distant. Like, they have, but yeah, it's like Reagan was like super. They had like really, I think even more influence than Sam. Like the restaurant thing was like, wow.
Exactly. And to me, like if you say emotionally distant love interest, the one that's gonna come up in my mind first is gonna be Reagan Thorne, even more
Hmm.
than Tristan, because Tristan seems to be distant in some ways, but not really, because they're still open.
Wow, that's interesting. By the way, I don't know, like, why do they have the same last name? Like, even though I think Reagan's last name is customizable. Also, I was thinking maybe if they're gonna be related, like a crossover or something. But nah, like you can customize Reagan's last name. So yeah, that's off the chart.
But it's a possibility because if you think about it, Reagan Thorne's family is also pretty influential.
Yeah.
S A very successful well, yeah, like, I mean, Reagan Thorne is a very successful character. So I'm thinking maybe, like, I don't even know if they would be distant cousins or something. Because then you have royalty and then you have an influential family. So I feel like that could be a possibility. Like, what if that is a thing in the Choices verse that they're connected in
Wow.
that way? I'm
Yeah,
wondering about that too. That's something I want to do look into
that'd be amazing. That's another interesting perspective. Yeah.
because I thought about that too. There was this idea that Pixelberry was being lazy, but I don't want to
Mm.
call them lazy. So I'm thinking that it's possible that they're both characters that could have a connection.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, I just wonder like the last name Sim. Yeah, I'd be like, wow. Then it's gonna be something special. Like if they have like, some connection, wow, a crossover. I can't wait if that happens.
I wouldn't be surprised because they're both families that are very influential. So I do
Yeah,
feel like there's something there. We just don't know what it is yet. But I
yeah,
definitely want to find out.
yeah. I am same New York based also. Could be a crossover. Let's see.
Oh, is it? For some reason, I thought that Surrender was in Chicago, but if it's in New York, then I'm wrong.
Oh, I don't know. Is
It
it
could
not
be
in
one
New
of them. It could be.
Chicago? Yeah. Oh, so you wanted Reagan to be closer to your hometown?
Oh no, Reagan's scary. I'm kidding. I do like Reagan actually. Reagan's
Yeah.
more tolerable as time goes by. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do like Reagan so far. I mean, yeah, given the kind of the context of the book, I know, like, a character like Aslin wouldn't have cut it for Reagan. So yeah, I mean, it's understandable. But yeah, I'd love to see how it, like the story develops over time.
I'm also really interested in Reagan Thorne's character development. It's to me, it's a really interesting part of the book too. But it's kind of what helps the book become even better than people would think it
Yeah.
is the character development part. So I definitely, although some people might not really be interested in reading the book, I personally would recommend reading all of it just because it's a very different type of choices book.
Mm, definitely, and the alternate perspective change just makes it a bit special, I guess.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I've read it like the first two chapters, and I would say like it's I would even say for the current releasing book, I would even say Surrender is even more exciting than Mismatch, like just because of the environment, music, and the really good plot it does. Like I'm not saying Mismatch is not exciting, but like it has like more excitement in Surrender, like more more intimidation and more like you anticipate something, and so the anticipation is there for Surrender.
Yeah, that is true. Surrender does have some really good strengths in it. I can see why people would say that because Mismatch is a good book, but it's also kind of tame.
Yeah,
So I can
but
see why.
yeah, but one thing, thank you for whoever wrote Jacqueline or Jack's part. They actually change outfit for the like the group date that not a lot of love interests do. So I'm really grateful for them for doing that, and I really love that blue outfit.
I remember that blue outfit too. I take a lot of screenshots while reading chapters,
Yeah,
especially love
same.
interest screenshots. So I love that outfit as well.
Yeah, it was good. All right, so here's another one I have, and I'm really excited for this. Um, okay, who I am. I am a character that once. worked for someone else, and now I'm working for someone else. I like to please my boss, my employee. I do some business for them, and some of these businesses are not legal. I may have done some nasty things like threatening people for my employees in the for my employer in the past, and I do get a bit offended, or I do not feel it right when my current employer, for whom I've done so much, neglects me and chooses others. I feel I do not feel good about myself when that happens.
Oh,
And
I know. I know who this is actually.
yeah, who do you think it is?
This is Percy Jennings, right?
Yeah, you're right. I was just
Wow,
thinking about
really?
him. Yeah, it's Jennings. It's Mr. Jennings.
A very interesting character.
Yeah. Good job.
Gosh,
Wow.
he's you know, to me, I think of Percy Jennings as a mess. He's kind of a mess.
Yep. And the book was like amazing. I still to this day remember. Like, I think The Unexpected Heroes was a really good book. You know, I enjoyed it very much.
It's definitely one of my top tens. Yeah, it was really, really enjoyable. And Gemma
Yeah,
will always be in my heart too.
definitely. I mean, it was an amazing book. I love that. You know, and the characters. Yeah,
That book, that was like one of the books that has characters that feel like they're almost like family. You know,
yeah,
like Effie,
exactly.
for example.
Oh, yeah. I once thought like should be a love interest, but we're not. Yeah.
I would have
'Cause
liked that.
yes, that would have been really an interesting choice. Yeah, 'cause we first meet her even before Lady Gemma, so I thought maybe she's the second love interest after John, but then it's like, nope, she's not.
That could be an opportunity for a fan fiction.
Oh yeah,
It could
that
be.
yes, there is like a lot for with this book, like Aunt Maud and the characters. They just like I like love that like the social gatherings and like it was an amazing book. I liked about everything about it.
I know. I love everything about it too. That's the book that has a crew that you just, it's like a ride or die crew. They'll do everything
Yes.
with you and they have your back.
Yeah, I know. It's an amazing. Um. All right. So, like, it's been fun, but it's so I gotta go. If you have some more, then just mark them or like they're not yet done, so we can do it next time. And tell me if you have anything else to add before we move on. And again, thanks for joining.
Oh, of course. You're welcome. And thank you very much for this opportunity. I know I say that a lot, but I'm really glad to be here because anything choices, especially choices impossible, is really fun for me. And I do have other choices descriptions um, for imposter. So that those definitely I'll hold them on to next time.
Yeah,
But yeah, this
definitely.
was really, really fun. And if there is any choices fans that want to also submit any of their imposter questions, that would make me very happy too. So I'm
Yeah.
open to that also.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always fun to have you on, and just to talk about stuff like, like for I think past couple of months we've been doing that, almost every weekend, more or less, if we don't have stuff to do or if we're not sick. But yeah, I mean, it's talking about choices and this laughing. It's just super fun, and thanks for joining. And and when I like release this, then I also like talk to people who love and comment. So it's just special 2 hours here and 2 hours when I release it. So it's always fun, about choices.
I know exactly, and I just love interacting with others about it. It feels like we're all bonding over it. That's what's
Yeah,
important in the
yeah,
end.
exactly.
But thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for coming, and I wish you all the best for next week. And I hope your health is okay, and have a safe and awesome Super Bowl, Valentine's Day next week, and I will see you next weekend when we both are free and to chat about choices.
Wonderful. I'm very looking forward to that. Thanks again so much. And I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks. And just before you go quickly, are you gonna watch Super Bowl? And if yes, who is it gonna be? Bengals versus Rams. Who's it gonna be?
Yikes. I'm an American embarrassment because I don't even I heard about the Super Bowl. I just didn't realize it was today.
Okay,
Oh
no
my
worries.
god. But the only thing I am aware of definitely is Valentine's Day. But which one? So who are the teams again?
I think one is Cincinnati Bengals and other one is Los Angeles Rams, but I don't know because I was just supporting Patrick Mahomes and he lost, so I'm pretty much like sad. But yeah, I mean it's Bengals versus Rams. I know this much.
Which one are you supporting?
Since like Chiefs lost against Bengals, I'm supporting Rams.
Oh, Rams. Okay, actually, so Rams in which city? Or
Los
this is stuff
Angeles.
that I would love to learn more about this, but I'm gonna choose the team in Chicago just because I'm wondering if maybe for me, I'm gonna have
You're
to
not.
look this up. Actually, I'm gonna look that up and then see who I would actually want to support. This is the first time I'd be doing that because I don't know anything about football,
Yeah,
but that
that's
would be awesome to get
yeah.
into.
I know, like it happens. Like there are a lot of people who don't know much about sports or like some other field. Like like some people don't know. Like I know people who don't know much about some movie franchises. Like it's like like people have their own jams and they're into that. And so yeah, it's pretty fun. Like different waves for different babes, as Slater said in Amy. Oh, you haven't heard that yet.
I know my family does definitely like the Super Bowl
Yeah,
event, definitely. So, but for me, I've never really thought about it much, but usually I would use it as an opportunity to get together with friends for some
yeah,
food and
exactly.
drinks. So it is still
Th-
something that I
that's what
participate
matters.
in. Yeah, exactly. But that is a good question. That's something I'm going to be thinking about today.
But
So at least
yeah,
thank you for that.
yep. And then overthink it, okay?
Oh, I overthink everything, but I'll try.
All right. Yeah. So you stay safe, you take care, and I'll see you. Thank you.
You too. Take care.
Thanks. Yep. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.